our righteousness.
Woo, so the Lord's going to bring forth our righteousness. Who's going to come with healing in his wings? Yahweh Shai. So the Lord's bringing forth our righteousness. The closer and closer these skirmishes get to actual all-out fucking war, the closer and closer these famines are going to get more severe. These skirmishes among the people, their disgruntledness against the government is going to get more and more severe. Crime is going to rise. All these things are going to turn up. Here's the turn up.
It says, come and let us declare in Zion the work of Yahweh Shema Shai our power.
We're declaring in Zion that memorial, the monument, the works of Yahweh Shema Shai. The Lord is the one doing those things out there in Ukraine. The Lord wanted it to happen. Lord on Putin heavy, just bugging him out, man. He ain't playing no games.
Yeah, that's why the prophets was behind him.
They're like, go ahead, Putin, do your thing. You know how the pictures moving and they stop again, like they're talking. That's it. They're like, go ahead, Putin.
Hey, Salaki, hey, that one interview, he was looking real serious, man. He looked like he was about to cry. Like, man, y'all niggas keep.
With the headphones?
I don't know if I know. Like his face was kind of red. He was like, man, y'all niggas keep fucking with me. Like, I'm gonna do something. Like, I was on some like, yeah, that shit was crazy.
Verse 11. Make bright the arrows. Gather the shield.
Hey, make bright the arrows, the missiles. Gather the shields and get your militaries ready for what's coming. Go ahead, huh?
Yahweh Shema Shai has raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes.
Woo! That is the Russians. All the way from my man Stalin to Putin. He raised them up to have that hatred for Babylon. Because it's funny, because right after World War II, the Russians and the Americans were allies. And the Russians wanted to keep the friendship going, but that wasn't according to the plan of Yahweh Shema Shai. And right after that, America started sending spies and shit over there. Like, nope, we can't trust the Russians. We gotta go up against them. That's why they formed NATO, to go against the encroaching movements of the Russians. With that Iron Curtain. That's what's going on. Go ahead, Hot.
It says, for his device is against Babylon.
See, the Lord had to turn the hearts of the Russians like, no, I'm going to use you to create a device that's going to be against Babylon. And right after World War II, what happened? The German scientists went to Russia and to America. Yep. Operation Paperclip. And they began that Cold War. They start building the arms race. Hot. So there it is. And that began in 1947 under that dude Truman. That's when they start testing weapons to go against the Russians. Go ahead.
It's all a plan. It's all a setup.
It's all of the Lord.
Good.
Lord set it up. It's beautiful, man.
It says, for his device is against Babylon.
What is the device that's against Babylon? The weapons of the Lord's indignation, these missiles. Go ahead, out.
To destroy it. Woo! Because it is the vengeance of the Lord.
Did you hear that vocab and all you people that this is the Lord's determination is to destroy America. Yep. Babylon, with the weapons that he put into the minds of these modern day Smiths, these scientists to create. Go ahead, out. Go ahead, out.
This is by the Jerusalem Post.
Man.
And it just came out a couple of hours ago. It says 6 Russian government websites, including Kremlin website, down.
Woo!
And it's a American.
Oh shit.
So what's the date on it?
This just happened an hour. This ain't an hour ago. It's multiple, bro.
Yeah.
So
it just recently happened within the past like
Few hours.
Hey, you know what's spiritual? Hey, my man Charlemagne, the God and shit, he is even in the spirit to say that like they ain't just gonna be bombs dropping. I don't know about that. But what did he say? He said they're gonna hit our economy, gonna hit the banks, they're gonna hit the electrical grid.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they did that to the Russians, what you think the Russians gonna do? They're gonna retaliate and hit Babylon, man.
Yeah.
They call it critical infrastructure.
Damn.
Yeah. Because really a sanction's an act of war.
Yeah.
Yep. Talking about you gonna sanction a country's bank and you think they're not gonna retaliate?
And when you messing with like a
big
big
worm,
worm and shit, you been like messing with my money,
my
it's like
emotions.
messing with my emotions.
Yeah, for real
Yeah,
though.
I saw these dumbass Americans, these dumbass Babylonians, they marching around with signs with Putin face on it that says sanction. Not even understanding that that's about to affect your dumbass.
Yeah, because they want to remove Russia from the SWIFT system. which is removing them from banking, period.
Exactly.
So that will make them, that would destroy the global economy, period.
And
that's
but
gonna
that's
hit-
what they want.
Yeah, it's gonna destroy Europe's economy first.
Yep, real, man, overnight, damn near.
It's all part of the plan because
Con.
you can't put sanctions on a country targeting their banks and their money if you don't own the money. This is
Right.
the bankers' war, man.
Right.
They're the
Right.
ones sending the orders down
That's
for
right.
Putin and Biden
Yep.
to do these different sanctions.
Yep.
Putin, they don't have the power to control that.
Yep.
Man, that's the upper elites orchestrating all this, man.
Yep.
You know?
And,
they say
who's controlling them? How about
Yep.
Shema Shai? He sent Satan. And Satan, go tell us something.
Yep.
Because it's the left hand of the Lord, then you got the right hand of the Lord working.
Right.
It's
Why
all
you-
working in unison.
Yeah. Why you think they gave you dummies these stimulus checks? So they could try to act like, well, we were good to you, but
Right.
now Russia.
Yep.
And then fucking sending out them stimulus checks unknown to these dummies that they pump more money into the banks, and that's gonna make the banks crash further. That's why the high banking elites, they train their sons on how to manipulate the markets. Then you see the markets go up this week because they attacked Ukraine. Everything went up, gas, food, supplies, everything went up because they're manipulating the markets.
Right.
And then they buy most when blood is in the streets, huh? All wars are bankers' wars.
Yep. Thank you.
Go ahead, huh?
Keep going.
And can the brother hold Ezekiel 38 real quick to link it up?
This is back in Jeremiah 51, verse 12. It says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes.
Prepare the ambushes, huh? Who's drawing the nations out? Who's lifting up the banner upon the high mountain? What is the banner? Scriptures, man. Hey, it's just like in a battle in the ancient world. Say you needed the cavalry to come in, you would hoist that flag up. The cavalry would come in. They'll see it like, okay, that's our signal to go in. We're lifting up the scriptures and drawing these nations out. They don't even know what the fuck is going on, but the word itself is drawing them out. Like, come on out. Like now it's time.
It's also a sign to the hopeful elect, man, to wake your asses up. Man.
Woo,
You know,
man.
the Lord always sends His prophets before He sends destruction. You know,
And I went into the that scripture in 2 Timothy where it says preach the word, be instant in season and out of season. I went into the word preach, and it mentions a herald. And when you go into a herald, what a herald did in the ancient world was they announced the coming of the king. All right, through an instrument, and that's what we're doing. We're announcing the coming of Yahushua through this word.
Because he is the word.
So we're the true heralds.
Go ahead, huh?
it says, for Yahweh Shai hath both devised and done that which He spake against the inhabitants of Babylon.
He have both done and devised against what he's going to do against Babylon. The Lord is taking this place down economically, morally, to the point where it's going to lead to civil war with the brother read in Isaiah 19:2. And also getting the Russians ready. He said they rise up the king of the Medes with an assembly of great nations to go up against Babylon, which is America. Is that it?
I mean, I can keep going.
But can a brother quickly get Isaiah 13 and get it in the modern translation? Because it's going into that banner again. What it's going to do? The scriptures is leading these nations out. About the Shaw, you got it.
I got Ezekiel too, though.
Oh, go ahead. Huh? Oh, yeah.
You want me to read Ezekiel too? I mean,
Yeah,
Ezekiel,
just to link up with what the brother just read. Verse 1.
This Ezekiel 38. And the word of Yahweh Shai came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God and the land of Magog.
So our face, the prophet's face is against Russia. We ain't for them. We ain't siding with them. They Edomites, man.
Yep.
But the Lord is going to use them as a catalyst to destroy America.
That's right.
And that's why the prophets was behind Putin on the picture. Like, they was saying they face against it, like, bro, we ain't you know? We behind you and shit, but we ain't with you.
It's a saying they got the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
You know? We ain't really friends.
Yeah.
We use you.
Right.
The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal.
Now you look at those lands, those are the sons of Japheth, but those lands of Tubal and Meshach is the lands of Russia. preferably Ukraine and Yugoslavia and all them places, are all Magog and Gog's land if you look on the ancient world map. Those are the Russians today. The Lord's talking about Gog and Magog of this time. Go ahead, huh?
And prophesy against them.
And we're prophesying against them, but yet the prophecies against them is against Babylon. Like, y'all come out to destroy America. You're going to be used as a catalyst to destroy America. Go ahead, huh?
And say, thus saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, behold,
Hey.
I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal.
And the Lord is against you, Russia, because we know you in bed with all these fucking high banking elites. They have your ass going out having these skirmishes because they thinking this next world's war is going to lead them into a new system.
Yep.
Which it is, because the Lord has it in the plans to do that. But the difference is that America's going to be completely destroyed with this war, the end of it, and Russia going to get hit.
Yep.
China and these other places going to get hit. But the difference is that Israel is going to be rebuilt, and these other lands is going to come back and flourish. But America is going to be a monument of what not to do. It's going to be a big desert of what not to do. Not to go against the Heavenly Father, His Son, His people. Go ahead, huh?
Hey, just backing you up, Russia is like leading the world in AI, or one of these, Moscow, by 2030, it's on pace to be like one of the first cities to be completely AI. So they real heavy into the next agenda, just backing you up.
Hey, there it is.
And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws.
So the Lord is turning Russia back into the USSR spirit. Like, fuck America, fuck everybody. Niggas is sleeping, burn the land of the enemy. They was in the choir. Choir was singing that. Niggas is sleeping, burn the land of the enemy. F everybody, pretty much. Go ahead. Real gangster rap. Real.
Yeah.
I be rolling out.
Tuba King.
Yeah.
And I will bring thee forth, and all thine army,
Woo!
horses and horsemen,
Man.
all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with shields, with bucklers and shields.
Now, when the army comes out with the bucklers and shields, they ready to go.
Yep.
They ready to go to war. A modern warfare. That's what the Russians have been equipping these other nations with. And then they themselves have been rising to a superpower again over the years that Putin has been in office. Since what 2000? That's when he got in there. And from then on, Russia is back to USSR and can't nobody stop them. You can put sanctions on the Russians, but they ain't gonna stop them. They still moving. They still about to take the Ukrainian capital. Go ahead, huh?
All of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company.
A great company. Because Russia just ain't just some regular little nation. They are a nuclear powered nation that can actually go head to head with America.
Yep.
Man, do brothers understand the magnitude of this? Like, he's reading the scripture and it's happening. Like, the brother's going in the meat right now. This is delicious.
Because I mean, if you was to pull up a map of the old Soviet Empire and you know, the Tsar Empire and everything, Ukraine was like that was the key piece, because Russia's territory went all the way up to Poland, and Ukraine is like the only territory that it ain't really got yet. Go ahead.
Hey, brother, the etymology of Ukraine, it says from Russia or Poland, Polish, Ukrainia, literally border, frontier, from you at.
That's what the word Ukraine means, literally border.
Frontier.
Yep. Hooks in thy jaws right there, right?
It says the edge,
The edge.
the so-called from being regarded as the southern frontier of Poland or Russia related.
Southern frontier.
Yep. Hey, going back to you said a great company, what they was talking about, 150,000 troops surrounding Ukraine. That's a massive army, man. You know, that's bigger than Ukraine's whole army, and that's just for one little front for Russia. You know, they still got more troops and shit.
You can see why NATO was trying to get Ukraine to join them, man, because that means that they can have NATO troops right at Russia's border, man. Putin don't want that.
Yep.
You know, because if anything were to happen, them nations join on to NATO will be liable to get involved in that conflict, man.
Right.
Hey, when they first invaded Ukraine, they hit 70 military installations and communications with the airstrikes. They even really, before they even sent ground troops in, and they hit all Their communications was knocking out, so they don't know who the fuck is who and the troops is on the ground.
Wasn't Putin saying, he came out, didn't he saying, anybody come in, y'all gonna die too?
Yeah.
And then he tell certain of the Ukrainian fighters, say, lay down your weapons and go home and shit. He's like, but if we come in there and your ass gonna fight, you know, you gonna end up in the state in which through. It's pretty much like that. Like you through, we come in there.
Hey,
and
like
your ass-
Debo said, put the gun down and get knocked out like your father used to.
Put the gun down, Craig. That's it. Go ahead, out. Knocked out like your daddy used to. That's right. That's right. Go ahead, out.
Even the great company with bucklers and shields.
Because Russia ain't coming alone, they coming with friends.
Yeah,
Oh,
Russia
yeah.
and friends.
Russia and friends. Like, Russia, yeah.
With bucklers and shields.
A military grade weapon. They coming with that modern warfare.
Well, you got it.
Go ahead, out.
All of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them.
Persia, Iranians.
Yep.
First one mentioned. Ethiopia, Libya with them, Northern Africa. They made these deals years back when Trump was still in office, 2016 to 2017 to 2018 to 2019, 2020. America did the wrong thing by killing Soleimani. Then at the end of that same year, they killed the nuclear scientists. And Ukraine, I mean, not Ukraine, and Iran vowed that they was gonna hit back, but they didn't. They said America was gonna hit you when you least expect it. You know, go ahead out.
All of them with shield and helmet.
All of them with shield and helmet, military grade weaponry, same weaponry that the Russians got.
Yep.
Hey, go ahead.
Gomar and all his bands.
Gomar going into Turkey and those regions in Syria. When the U.S. military left Syria, who moved right on in? The Russians. Go ahead out.
The house of Togomar in the north quarters.
North Quarter.
And all his bands.
All his army.
And many people with thee.
And many nations that's ready. They ready to go, man. They backing Russia all the way. Go ahead, out.
Be prepared and prepare thyself, thou, and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Now Russia's a guard unto them.
Yep.
Russia's saying, all right, you jump in there and fuck with them, you fucking with us.
Yeah.
So, like the brother said, it ain't gonna come from Ukraine. That ain't gonna start World War III. It's gonna come from Iran being fucked with by them small heads.
Yep.
The brother can get that real quick, Jeremiah 39. At least the flock.
That's the spirit that is saying, a guard unto them. Because this whole Ukraine conflict started because Putin declared them two regions independent, and he declared war on Ukraine in defense of those regions. In a role of being a guard unto the regions that he declared independent.
And that's the spirit, because these fucking devils over here in the West is saying Russia invades Ukraine, but yet Putin himself is saying no, it's a military operation.
Right, we help.
We help. And he's being a guard. He's like, I ain't going there and fucking people up. I'm going there to get the devils out of there.
Right. Yeah,
So,
that's exactly
that's the spirit, you know. Go ahead, out.
Okay, going with
Look, Baba Shaw.
After verse 8, after many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years.
After many days thou shalt be visited, because you gotta remember USSR broke apart in the late 80s, early 90s, 1991, and then now they back at that power seat again, as they were when they went down. By way of who? NATO. NATO took down Yugoslavia with fucking rain and fire from heaven, man. If you just look it up, Google it, of how they was at one. NATO was finally all together, and they put an end to the USSR as the world thought, yet they came back. Go ahead, out.
In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword.
Now the apostles went into it. Hey, how did those rats get the land of Israel? After the war. And then that's why you got them commercials of people going over to Israel. It all starts with a shalom. But who's going to lead the world into World War III? Who's going to be the smallest drawing everybody out? That same region. Go ahead, out.
And is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel,
The actual land of Israel.
which have been always waste, but is brought forth out of the nations and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land.
Hey, that's going into World War III. Because what does Armageddon mean, Akim? Mountain of troops. All these nations' armies gonna gather into one region. And a brother before the brother get that Jeremiah, get 2nd Esdras 15 and 29. Because it says a horrible vision from the east, but it's talking about the Middle East. Because it said they gonna ascend over the land like a storm. But who else gonna come out like a damn wild boar out of the wood? The Iranians.
This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 29. It says, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia.
Started, is that 29 or 30?
29.
Go to 28.
Verse 28, behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east.
A horrible vision. The prophecy from the east, right?
Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia.
The dragons of Arabia, those Arab nations. What connects them to Iran? And you know what Iran, the reason they changed it to Iran, I believe it was the Islamic State of Iran. Yeah. But before that, in the 1930s, up until that time, they were known as Persia, right? But then they changed their name to Iran. That goes back to Carmania, which was the capital city of Iran in the ancient world. So it's talking about the Iranians right here. Go ahead.
And the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth.
Now I said the dragons of Arabia. Now what connects the Arab nations, Ishmael, with Iran? They're connected through religion, Islam. That's why they fucking with each other. Like, shit, you Islam, shit, I'm Islam. But who they fucking with? Russia. You see how it all connects like that? It's terrible, man. Yeah.
That all they which hear them may fear and tremble.
They fearing and trembling for Russia, but they gonna come as a storm over that land, the land where Israel is, the Middle East, Saudi Arabian Peninsula, and who gonna come out with them? The Iranians.
Also the Carmanians, raging in wrath,
That's Iran.
shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood.
Now, if you look at the characteristics of a wild boar, the only reason it attacks you is when it feels cornered, or it's fucking fight or flight. Like, shit, I feel fucking cornered. I gotta attack. That's how Iran feels. They feel surrounded like shit. We surround. They got naval bases right there on the Saudi Arabian Peninsula, right across from the Strait of Hormuz. Naval bases, air bases. So they can easily go over there and attack Iran. But America's like, nah, we ain't about to touch them. Because Russia is backing them. But who gonna draw them out? The rats. They gonna do fucking air raids and shit and draw them out.
It says, and join battle with them and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians.
Hey, because along with Russia, China, and these other nuclear power nations, Iran is going to destroy a portion of the land of the Assyrians, which is another name for America. All these nations are going to have a part in destroying Babylon. That was it.
You go back to it?
Yeah, and jump down to 11.
I'm only one verse away from 11. You want me to still just jump to it?
Yeah, jump to it.
Fine. You want me to get the evil thought part?
Oh yeah, the evil thought. Get that evil thought. Yeah, we'll jump.
Verse 38, verse 10, thus said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought.
And what does that mean? That the Russians are going to invade the land of unwalled villages of America. They're going to send their troopers on. Hey, bro, when you sent that you had that video when they was paratrooping, I'm like, oh man, watch the fucking skies be filled with fucking Russians landing. Over here, people gonna go ape shit. Like, damn, they was fucking coming from everywhere. You couldn't see the end of them and shit. And then right when they hit the ground, they was all lined up like, ready. They was ready to move. Go ahead.
And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages.
So the Russians gonna think a thought like, we gotta go over there and invade Babylon. They already got sleeper cells here, so they gonna hit this fucking place from all sides. But who's gonna be allying them on the west? Chinese. And who's on the east? Russians have got subs over there. They gonna hit from all sides.
Also Venezuelans.
They gonna come up through Damn.
Amigo.
Yeah. They gonna come with a damn sombrero on and shit. Damn. Go ahead.
I will go to them that are at rest.
Who's that? You American idiots over there. You're at rest, but yet war is on the fucking brink, right? Peace and safety. And then sudden destruction. Go ahead.
That dwell safely.
Hey.
All of them dwelling without walls.
Without walls, you ain't got no protection, man. Russians already here. And then they gonna send the rest of their forces, and there ain't gonna be no stopping Russia and its allies from taking you Americans down. And at the very same time, sedition amongst men. Civil war, this is only fucking hell on earth, man.